Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Showtimes. That's the name of the show we're on right now, where I sit down with some friends, in this case, Jerrad, to talk about movies and TV shows that we have enjoyed or suffered, depending on what the occasion is.
So, you say sit down with friends. It's usually me, like 95% of the time.
Well, yeah, that's because you have enough free time while you're over there neglecting your child.
I'm not neglecting my child. She is currently napping after a bottle, after keeping me up all night.
Bottle and Jack. Anyway, we're here to talk about Monster Hunter, the movie by Paul W.S. Anderson. And if that doesn't tell you absolutely everything you need to know about how this thing worked and went, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say.
You're not wrong.
No, oh god, this movie is fuck awful.
Okay, so we came in this movie with like two different perspectives. So me, as someone who has never played a Monster Hunter game before,
right?
And you, I believe you said you had.
I've played some. Like, I'm not gonna be like an aficionado on this, so if I'm off base on a few things, I do apologize, everybody. But yeah, this movie kind of sucked. I thought that it was just absolutely awful. Paul W.S. Anderson, you've done it again.
So, in my opinion, like, having someone who has not played Monster Hunter,
right?
It's a movie. Yeah, like if you didn't attach this name to it and just like put this in a world, like, the concept is not a terrible concept. Like, the soldiers, it's
your pretty standard movie trope like this. Like, I don't think anybody would complain that this movie is like overly original or super complex. The problem is that it is using the Monster Hunter name to reach an audience that it otherwise would not. Now, that in and of itself is not a terrible thing. The problem stems from the fact that it is so unlike what Monster Hunter traditionally is, in that Monster Hunter, the game, is a wonderful, fantastic style universe where you have lots of different things going on. Like, there's a bunch of different stories you could tell. The latest one, Monster Hunter World, is entirely about a group of people coming to a new continent to try and make a new home. And you can make a survival story out of that. That's like not an issue. You can do a lot of different things with it. And instead they chose to do the whole, our world colliding with theirs. And that doesn't really make any sense, even in the context of the movie. That's not really expounded or explained upon. And ultimately, it doesn't matter. Because
that's why it definitely looks like they're setting up for multiple movies. But just like, so I'm gonna be honest, Rod. I've told you this last night. I bought the Blu-ray for this thing because I watched this movie. I watched a download of this movie, and I thought I missed something.
Yeah,
like, in general, because one of the main characters does not speak English for a good portion of this movie. I
don't know if he speaks the Monster Hunter world language, or I don't think he does. Like, it doesn't sound like he does. But yeah, in the world of Monster Hunter, you can set it to where they speak either a preferred language that you want, or they'll speak like Monster Hunter world, kind of like The Sims, where you have Simlish.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
With that, though, like, I thought I was missing something, that, like, you know how sometimes when you download a movie and there's things that's going on, like normally when it would automatically translate text and it doesn't.
Yeah, you thought you had something went wrong with your download and you didn't get the subs.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I bought the Blu-ray, I turned the subs on, and he still has no subs, like, at all, except like towards the second half of the movie where he's using just common English words.
Yeah.
But that's where my problem lies.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the movie itself, because you just hit on a huge issue I have with this movie, which is that you can not watch the first half of this and get the exact same story. Like, the first 45 minutes of this hour and a half movie is completely and totally unneeded.
To a point, yeah.
No, like, completely. You can skip out all of the whole Mila Jovovich and her team searching for the people because they don't matter.
That's 20 minutes. That's like 15 minutes. Like, her team is dead within the first 15 minutes.
Within the first 15 minutes, yeah.
If you want to watch this thing,
I don't know why you would, but yeah.
Her entire team, minus, I don't think I saw a particular character die, but so they could set up for that. Oh, she's still alive in the sequel or whatever, but I don't see that happening. I didn't see the other girl die. I may have missed it.
I think she gets found in one of the spider sacks that after
maybe
wakes up.
Like they saw her dog tag or something, and then she finds T.I., and then he dies because he has spider spores on him.
Yeah. No, here's the issue with this. You go through all the super standard, they don't understand one another, and then Monster Hunter guy and Mila Jovovich fight. And that takes up the other, 25 minutes of this.
Yeah, and then...
Which is ultimately pointless because they eventually, very quickly, in one scene, work past their differences that they've been trying to kill each other over for the past 20 minutes. And they start working together. So you can skip 45 minutes of this hour and a half movie.
Yeah, and then there's the whole training montage and all that.
Normally, I am all about a fun training montage. You get to see some neat stuff. But there's really not any neat stuff in this. Like, the neatest thing is they show off the grapple hook mechanic from Monster Hunter. But if you're already familiar with Monster Hunter, you know this. And even if you're not, it doesn't really play a pivotal role aside from, 2 scenes.
Yeah.
That ultimately mean nothing. Like, they could have been accomplished without it.
Well, it just seems like the crossing the desert thing was such a big part of it that the second half is really just kind of rushed and visually, this movie looks good. I will say that because I watched the special features because they put
good. It doesn't look great.
Well, they put a lot of detail into, apparently somebody on this film cared about Monster Hunter a little bit, because I was watching, the special features, because why not? They did put little intricate things here and there.
That's the best reason I can think of for watching anything relating to this movie is, why not?
But they put all these little intricate things here and there. And
yes, they did. I'll give them that. There's a lot of small detail. Somebody very clearly cared about Monster Hunter. I don't think it was anybody in the main higher-ups to it, but somebody did.
No, it was to consult on the costume, they got some big super fan to come in and look at all, go over all the costumes to make sure they looked appropriate for the world and stuff like that. But yeah, the first half of this, the whole them getting across the desert, just compared to what they went from to what they were about to have to fight, just seemed a little.
They start off fighting these giant spiders, which Nice job on taking this fun kids game that's about teaming up with your friends to go hunt large dinosaur-like monsters to try and make better gear so you can hunt bigger animals, and turn that into this horrible nightmare world.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was definitely something.
Yeah, we go through all of that, and they eventually, Monster Hunter guy and Mila Jovovich, I don't know their names, I just know what their character roles are.
Her character's name is Artemis, because I just watched the special features.
Oh, that's right. They do call her Captain Artemis, like at the very end of the movie, which I think might be the only time they say her name in the movie itself.
Yeah, all the characters had names. Like
I know, and I didn't care about any of them.
Yeah.
Like the first 20 minutes is all this filling in for people that I'm just sitting here. I'm like, all right, I've seen this kind of movie before. I know these people are dead. There's zero point in developing their character. Oh shit, I bumped my mic. Developing their character in massive quotes because you get such surface level stuff to them. It's like, this is army guy and combat girl.
The really funny thing on the special features, though, I'm telling you, the special features on this thing are hilarious because they're like, we just tried so hard to feel like a real military unit. And
what?
We really feel Mila Jovovich just brought us all together, and we have this all the actors were saying this bullshit.
Well, I'm sure Mila Jovovich is a wonderful person to hang out with. She seems like a really nice person. I didn't get anything out of these characters. It was like, it felt like they went with the worst line reads from all their stuff.
They were like, we tried so hard to make sure our camaraderie felt real, and they sold all that bullshit on the special features. I'm not fucking
no
kidding.
Let no one ever say that these aren't actors in the most legitimate sense, because they are acting their asses off to try and tell you that they actually felt like companions on screen.
Yeah. Well, it's also the most like random hodgepodge of actors like I could ever think of. Like, it's people who are noticeable for the name, like you get T.I.
Yeah.
And then Avatar's popular again. Here's the guy that voiced Prince Zuko. Here's the girl that was in the Shazam movie for 20 minutes.
Dante Bosco was in this?
Yeah.
Where?
He was the guy listening to George Jones on The Gun.
Oh shit, that was Dante Bosco. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I did not pick that up.
Yeah, he was the guy.
That's what you've done, Monster Hunter. You've made a movie that's so bland and stupid, I didn't notice Dante Bosco. Nice job, assholes.
And then it was like, here's two, kind of no name. And then, we'll grab Megan Good. She was in Shazam recently. She'll bring a name notification.
Oh, yeah, she was. Holy cow, I forgot about her too.
She was Transformed Darla. She was,
she was.
know. Yeah, I don't know her comic reference at this time, but she was Transformed Darla.
Holy shit.
But they took all these actors, like they were in something relevant recently. Let's just throw him in here. T.I. was in Ant-Man. We'll put him in there. And of course, Mila Jovovich's husband made this motherfucker. So
yeah, he puts her in everything.
So my big problem with those two, like I said, I'm sure they're great people. I don't think they know that they make bad movies, Sean.
I don't think Paul W.S. Anderson knows. I think he is thoroughly convinced that he makes great movies. I think Mila Jovovich knows exactly what kind of schlock she stars in, because she is very much not bringing her A game. Like, at all in this movie.
Oh, if you listen to the special feature, she was up at like 4 o'clock and working out before she went to hair and makeup.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
She was putting her A game
she's
in.
A professional. She does what is expected of her. And I'll buy that. I think I can believe that she acts professionally on set and is committed to getting the best job she can done. I buy that absolutely. What I do not buy is that she didn't know she was in a giant pile of shit. This was a paycheck movie for everybody involved. All right, that's why Ron Perlman's
they
in this.
love the script and blah blah blah. Like I'm telling you, man, watch them special features. Like they fell in love with the script.
Like you have to say that. You can't say disparaging things about you. You're not supposed to anyway. I won't say they have to, but you are not supposed to say bad things. Is like, I did this because I needed to pay off a car or something like that. You're not supposed to say that. God, there was somebody in the news who did that recently about a movie. I forget who it was.
Mark Hamill did it not too long ago when he spoke out against. He didn't think Star Wars did him right.
A lot of people didn't think Star Wars did him right. Hell, John Boyega has been very vocal about that shit. How did we get onto Star Wars? This is like the furthest fucking thing from Star Wars, and yet here we are fucking talking about Star Wars again. God damn it!
No, I mean there are plenty of actors like when they ask them like I think they ask people like, did you see such and such movie? And someone is like, no, but I saw the house it paid for.
Yeah, that was Michael Caine. That was Michael Caine discussing Jaws 4.
Yeah,
which is one of my favorite interview questions of all time. It's so wonderful. I love it.
There are several actors who will say that. Like Eric Estrada recently, when Chips the movie came out, another pile of garbage, he was like, had I been allowed to read the script, there's no fucking way I would have done that cameo. They shit on everything I worked so hard for.
He says that, but I've seen Cool Cat Saves the Kids, and yeah, he's in that too. I'll send you a video clip of that.
Hey man, I think Eric Estrada is above that because now he's selling timeshares in the village, Hot Springs Village.
Are you kidding me?
No. My friend Jessica moved. Her family was convinced to move to Hot Springs Village because of an Eric Estrada infomercial.
I have to look this up.
You not?
I have to look this up. The fuck is Eric Estrada doing slumming it in Arkansas?
This was was several years ago. Like this is about 10 years old. But he was doing infomercials. Sean, Monster Hunter.
You're right. You're right.
We'll find this later.
Oh my god. Eric Estrada Hot Springs Village. It pops up when I get Eric Estrada hot.
I told you.
The first video, Eric Estrada sells the white man back the land they stole. Oh my god.
I told you, man.
I love the world we live in sometimes.
It's nice when I can give you something to enjoy, Sean.
You have given me a joy, Jerrad. You have given me such a joy. I'm so happy. Anyway,
what are friends for, man?
Yeah,
you know, we shit talk Monster Hunter, and I give you something enjoyable. You can just laugh at later.
I'm gonna have to. Where were we?
They don't know. Well, Mila Jovovich's husband doesn't know he makes crap movies.
Yes. Paul W.S. Anderson doesn't know he makes terrible movies. Look at any of the Resident Evil movies past the first one.
Yeah.
For that.
He swears up and down he just loves these things and he'll dump.
He may. I don't doubt that he loves it. I think he likes putting his own personal twist on it more, which is makes it so far removed from excuse me. A little bile rose up in my throat trying to get into the mindset of Paul W.S. Anderson. I think he loves putting his own personal spin on it more than he likes understanding what the actual core material is about. Because he very clearly likes what he does, which is making dumb action movies. And he likes using the imagery for it. You know, I think he would probably make a pretty good dungeon master, actually. Like if he were to set up a kind of survival D&D game, like in a modern style setting, like he could absolutely crib a bunch of stuff from different games, put his own personalized spin on it, and probably be really, really fun.
I'd totally play a campaign with this dude.
No, I think he would do good like that.
Yeah.
Let it never be said that we exclusively talk shit on people.
No. I mean, we're mitigating it to something we are very familiar with.
This is true.
I mean, yeah. I would totally play a campaign with that dude in it, like with that dude DMing.
Yeah,
I think he would do a great job.
It definitely sounds like it would be fun. But unfortunately, that does not translate well to making a movie about a set of materials where you have a lot of different things you could crib from. Like, while I was sitting here watching this movie, I was like, okay, what is this movie going to be about? Is it going to be about this group of people trying to go to a new continent? And I just pulled from the newest Monster Hunter game where you go to a new continent, there's new stuff, and you're trying to establish a foothold for the people. And that's what your main objective is just survive. And you get the village up and running, and that's your big ending for the movie. And it's like, okay, I get that. I understand that. You can do a lot with that. And it's it's generic soldiers thrust into the unknown, and all of them die except Mila Jovovich. I knew that was going to happen immediately.
See, I would have liked more than one of the soldiers to survive, and them even a movie about people having to figure out how a world works.
Yeah,
I also didn't understand. I could have
accepted that, but they don't.
How the fuck do bullets not work? I understand the one thing had really thick hide, and I get bullets didn't work. How the fuck do bullets not work on spiders? But bone knives and things like that do.
Well, see, that's where knowing the games comes in handy, is because a lot of these weapons have been specially sharpened and made to hunt monsters using the bones of some of the more hard to kill monsters.
Okay.
And they kind of use those as a way to combat the monster's super thick hides, because these weapons are made specifically to combat them. And it's okay, I get that, but that's because I know the games. Anybody who doesn't know the games like you are going to be confused as hell. And anybody who's watching this who know the game are just like, why am I watching generic soldier person run around and shoot this thing?
Yeah. I totally just realized I could have pulled up my second screen the entire time and moved the Audacity over there.
That's all right.
It's weird. I've never had this kind of setup before.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're going through. Jerrad got his new computer, so hopefully the audio in this will sound nice and crisp for both of us this time, instead of one of us sounding like we're talking over a 1980s telephone.
Sorry.
We got to do what we got to do. It's an unknown world, and hopefully this will all work out. This will all still be audio format because nobody wants to look at our ugly faces.
I don't know what you're talking about, Sean. I think you're slightly handsome.
Aw. My ego took a small little bump today. Now I just have to wait for it like Harry Kim has to wait for Janeway to insult him to make it all even out again. Anyway.
Hey man, you're DMing tonight. People are going to kiss your ass all day. Don't expect any different.
Nah. Anyway, back to Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter guy, and wow, we just spent the last 15 minutes talking about fucking bullshit. I'm so glad we don't claim this is a hyper-focused podcast or anything.
Well, okay, with this movie, I guess it's easy to stray off topic.
It really is. It really is.
So, we've already kind of pretty much covered the first half of this movie. If I had seen a flushed out second half of this movie, I think, I'm not guaranteeing, it would have been good. There's so many things, when they were climbing the mountain, that fucking waterfall that looked like a temple.
Yeah.
I would have fucking paid to watch a movie where they go in and explore and kill some monsters in there on their way trek to this tower thing. I would have watched that movie.
You know what you can do? Play Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Because that's what you can get in Monster Hunter. But anyway, second half of this movie is them, Monster Hunter guy and Mila Jovovich cross the desert. They defeat the sand thing that killed most of her team.
Yep.
And they cross the desert together, and then they meet Ron Perlman in the worst makeup.
Yeah, and he is the Admiral,
Just
a
the
character
worst
that
wig.
is actually in the video games.
Yeah. And he, conveniently enough, speaks English, because somewhere along the way, the writers looked at this and said, we can't just have Mila Jovovich talk everything back to this guy. Someone has to explain something.
See, and that's where my other confusion comes in. Everybody on that ship, except him and the cat, spoke English. How did he not pick up some of the English language? Like, it was very established that him and Ron Perlman communicated frequently. How did he not speak English?
I'm presuming because Ron Perlman didn't speak English at people. But he does so... I guess that doesn't work because he does speak English to the Palico? Palico. The cat thing.
The tabaxi. It looks like a tabaxi to me. That's where my head immediately went.
They're called Palicos. They're in the game. You get these little cat followers that run around with you, and they're adorable. And anytime I go into combat, my lizard brain immediately looks at the cute little cat person, and I'm like, I don't want my kitty in danger.
Well, that was like all the other people, like the girl with the goggles and stuff like that makes me think of Cheryl's D&D character. That person spoke English. The other guy spoke English, quite literally.
Did they?
Yes.
I don't remember
because
that.
They were teasing her outside of her cell, and they were speaking English.
I don't remember that. I wasn't really... I guess I wasn't listening that hard, because I
rewatched this motherfucker with subtitles just to make sure I didn't miss anything.
And they're speaking English
this movie twice.
Okay, I don't have an excuse.
English.
I'm sorry, I don't have an excuse. You've officially cracked the lid on this. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah,
he is the only character on that ship who does not speak English besides the cat.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
And the cat not speaking English makes sense. Not him. I mean, even if they had said he's a new recruit that's only been with us for a month, that would have done something.
I think this is two different scripts mashed together and then the Monster Hunter stuff added in afterwards, because that very much feels like two different ideas. Like, you have the fish out of water and the two people having to work together who can't understand one another, working together to achieve a common goal. That feels like its own movie in itself. And then you have the escape movie, which is them getting back to her back to her home world. A totally different movie.
See, that's where I think that this was probably planned for two movies, but they realized the whole crossing the desert thing doesn't seem like it could all be one movie, but they could have fleshed out. They could have actually developed the soldiers. Maybe more than one soldier survived. Like 2 or 3 of them worked together with this stranger to train with their weapons.
Sure.
And then they cross the desert, kill this thing. And like at the end, you have the scene where that fucking thing is flying over, and maybe the end of it be where Ron Perlman's character shows up.
Yeah.
That's end of movie 1. Movie 2 is their whole journey to this tower and the unresolved shit that they tried to sequel bait us with.
Right.
Like,
no, I can understand
that. Like that, break this thing up into 2 movies and make it feel more like real movies
I think they
make
were sitting
me feel
on
I'm watching 2 different ones.
Right. No, I think they were sitting on this movie for a long while. And
10 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No, the guy licensed Monster Hunter 5 to 10 years ago. He was sitting on this for a while.
I can believe that. No, I'm talking about the script for this movie has been sitting there for a while. And once we had our global pandemic roll around, movies weren't coming out that good. So they were like, some producer sat there and went, shit, what do we have that we can just shove out the door?
This was pre-pandemic.
This was pre-pandemic?
This was made pre-pandemic, and it was supposed to release sooner. It was supposed to be a summer movie. I saw the trailers for this before the pandemic hit.
I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know what happened with this then, because this feels like two movies that were mashed into one really shitty one. I mean, I'll grant you, even if they did exactly what you said, it wouldn't have been good. It would have been better. Like, I would have looked at this and gone, this is fine. Like, it's not terrible.
Sean, let me ask you a question. Have you ever watched any of the Resident Evil movies in order and how none of them make sense at all?
Oh my God, you're right.
Past the first one.
Oh God,
like something so different is going on in the next movie after that one. Oh, that like the ending of one that Jerrad, they set up for another movie.
Stop. Reality is collapsing in my brain.
It skips like a year ahead to something completely different. It happens every time with this dude and his sequels.
Stop, please. I can only take so much horror and disappointment in my life. Oh my God!
I brought my A game today, Sean.
You did. You were prepped and ready. I thought I was gonna have a bitch session with this, but you have dominated this one. You are on top of it.
I think it's because I do not like the Resident Evil movies for several reasons. Mostly because I was with somebody who forced me to watch them.
You have a personal connection with that.
Over again, so like I can rip apart this particular director's movie making style and the scripts for his movie. I'm on my A game today, man.
You decided to bring it. But yeah, eventually they team up with Ron Perlman in... I try to give any movie that casts Ron Perlman the benefit of the doubt because it's Ron Perlman. The man gives a sense of gravitas and professionalism to everything he does. I mean, the guy is a consummate professional. An actor's actor, if you will. So anytime he's in a movie, I'm like, all right, this is going to get a little better.
He's a chameleon, too. That man can act
he will become whatever you need him to be. He's great. I have never looked at a movie Ron Perlman's in and gone, you know something? He does not fit here. I saw that here today. Because I watched Ron Perlman in this, and I'm just like, this man is way too good for this shit. He is slumming it hard. And... like, I know a lot of people aren't fans of Pacific Rim. Hannibal Chow is one of the best things about that fucking movie.
Oh, hands down. I loved his character in that.
And all Ron Perlman just being Ron Perlman.
I mean...
just absolutely eating up his role. And there is nothing for him to work with here.
Yeah, like I mean, Ron Perlman's been everything from Beauty and the Beast to Hellboy to Sons of Anarchy. He was fantastic in Sons of Anarchy.
The man is a professional. If you ever see his Twitter, he is so far from that character.
Yeah,
which is what I love about him. He is an actor's actor.
Yeah, Ron. He is a national treasure.
He is.
Let's just put it out there. Ron Perlman is a treasure.
He is an international treasure. Other countries can claim that Ron Perlman is a treasure to them because you know what? He is.
There have been 2 movies, this one included, that Ron Perlman has been in where I was just like, I don't think he should have been in there, Ron Perlman. This and Season of the Witch with Nicolas Cage. That movie is awful.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's bad.
Like I love me a bad Nicolas Cage movie just because Nicolas Cage is another one of those treasures for the opposite reason. Like he's so terrible, he's wonderful.
He's one of those he can spit out a good movie every now and then, but mostly he makes garbage.
If he hadn't gone so far into debt, I'm pretty sure he would be able to choose his movies a little more carefully, but as it is, he's pretty well into financial hardships that he takes any movie he comes across. How the fuck did we get to talking about Nicolas Cage?
Ron Perlman was in a movie with Nick Cage. That's really bad.
Oh, that's right. And we were talking about how Ron Perlman makes everything better except for like 1 or 2 things. Okay, now I know we're back on track. This is the kind of movie we're dealing with, folks. I've lost track twice now of what the fuck we were talking about. My brain
I'm on
wants
my
to
A
talk
game.
about
I'll bring it
anything
back
else.
in.
I'm glad you're here to you're like a rubber band, just yanking it all back in. Okay. Oh fuck. So Ron Perlman, they hold Mila Jovovich hostage again. So we have to go through the whole misunderstood conflict shit again in the same movie.
No, not really. She breaks out.
I know.
Like in 5 minutes.
Which makes the entire thing even more pointless. So that's like 5 minutes of movie, completely wasted. They talk about how there's this portal from some ancient civilization.
Let me ask you this question, though.
Okay.
Was it not worth that 5 pointless minutes of airtime to watch Ron Perlman punch Mila Jovovich in the face?
Not really. See, I don't hold any kind of grudge against Mila Jovovich. I think she's perfectly fine. And this just wasted more time in a movie that already felt overbloated, that was just barely at feature length.
Yeah.
So we get to that, and they discuss that there's this portal between their world and our world, and apparently other people have come through, but nobody's ever noticed it in our world before. And that's how Ron Perlman knows English.
Yeah, that didn't make a hell of a lot of sense.
No.
Especially because something just in our world, something like those pillars or like that they drove through the desert, no matter what country you're in, something like that is such a unique monument like Stonehenge and that kind of shit
Machu Picchu, stuff like that, yeah.
protected. Like heavily.
Or at the very least is known about. Like they know, hey, there are these weird pillars out there. They don't just rise up out of nowhere and then they're like, oh, what the hell are these? And then they say, oh yeah, other people have come through. It's like, fucking who? When? Damn it!
Yeah. So like, unless it's just, there's rarely something that somebody finds that just kind of pops up like that in the world.
Exactly. And it's just, oh god, it makes me. This movie made me angry, Jerrad. Like, I'm not a Monster Hunter fan. I'm just a movie fan. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, nothing is being explained. Stop not making sense, movie.
And then, like, they somehow travel. They explain that the tower, like, at the tower is opening random portals. So my question is, when Mila Jovovich came through,
how did they end up in the desert?
Exactly. Like, if there's random portals being opened up right there, because during the dragon fight, she is fucking dropped
exact same question.
Right back where she came from.
Exact same question.
And then Ron Perlman and the other guy
Monster Hunter guy jump through and they fight. Oh god, we gloss over. They get to the portal tower thing, and like it's like a solid 5 minutes of them sneaking around Scooby-Doo style almost.
Yeah.
And like just as I was getting at my limit, I was just like, fucking something happened, and then all of a sudden the fireball blows 2 people up, and I was just like, oh thank god.
Well, like the girl with the goggles on that was like looking around and like, I can't, it's like, come on, bitch. Like, even I could tell that thing was making noise. Mm-hmm. Like, your best thing to do in a situation like that is to get and fucking bunker down.
Yeah. No, that's another thing I want to mention. Sound design in this movie is fucked.
Oh, for sure.
Like, there were points where it would, like, everything would just fade out, and I'm just like, what the hell's happening? Like, I could understand it when she would like hit her head or something that's like supposed to signal like, oh, inner trauma. She's woozy. Yeah. She's woozy. She can't. The senses are distorted. But it would do it in weird spots too, like where there's action, like the ship at the very beginning was breaking apart, getting assaulted, and it would do it there, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Did I get a bad copy? I thought the same thing at first, and I asked you, I was like, did it do this to you? And it's like, yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
It sure the fuck did.
And I was just like, who decided that? Oh, Paul W.S. Anderson, that's right. He decided. So long story short, they fight the not dragons, and Mila Jovovich gets thrown off a cliff back to her world. almost
and
gets
the
rescued.
military immediately shows up.
Oh, they are Johnny on the spot.
Which don't know how, not explained.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask my brother. He's in the Air Force. He'll understand if they have like the ability to comb the desert and spot one person and have not only a medevac chopper, but like 6 Humvees and several Abrams tanks ready to go at a moment's notice.
Well, see, also, like, at this point, I thought, this is where the movie is going to end, right here. She is going to be medevaced out. Like, I saw a different ending for the movie at the time, where, for a different sequel setup, I'm like, she's going to get medevaced out, and then, like, after she's patched up and everything, she's just going to be like, I have to go back. I can't leave them there. They were in the middle of that, and then I thought she was gonna pop through she was gonna figure out and pop back through the portal, and for the sequel, nope, the dragon comes through.
See, I was seeing that version, or the one where she gets debriefed and she gets told we've known about this for a while and we've been trying to monitor and mitigate things coming through. And
we want you to lead a team.
She's going to lead a task force back through. And that's how we try and establish dialogue between the worlds.
That makes sense, too.
That would have made sense, too. No, nope. None of that happens. Instead, a dragon
comes in and can't be hit by tanks, can't be hit by fighter jets. Nope. Like this thing is essentially Godzilla.
Yeah. I wondered why the Toho logo was in front of everything, and it's like, oh, now I know, because they just cribbed Godzilla's special powers.
But they eventually kill this dragon, and another
Ron Perlman and Monster Hunter guy come through and aid Mila Jovovich in killing this thing.
And then another more terrifying dragon comes through.
Yeah. And then that's where they end it, with them fighting it in a shadowy figure looking on. Dun, dun, dun!
And the cat shows up.
And the Palico shows up, which, Monster Hunter fans in the audience, you can correct me on this. I don't think your Palico fights with you. Like, they are exclusively there to, like, aid you in carrying stuff. So I don't know. Yeah. And then they sequel bait with saying, Monster Hunter will be back.
I didn't say that.
They don't actually say it. They just, they imply it. Oh God.
Yeah. This mysterious hooded figure.
Yeah, this movie sucks. I don't know if we said that enough or hard enough. Like, normally when a bad movie pops up, I'm like, oh, okay, bad movie. Let's see what happens. And you can sometimes get this was so bad, it's good.
Well, I think I know why you're angry. Like, particularly, though, this movie had so much potential.
Yes.
And instead, we just, to this day, currently, we have three good movies based off video games. 3.
Okay. Well, we all know Mortal Kombat's one.
Okay, Mortal Kombat, the original.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu.
It's not so much those two aren't so much video games as they are video game material movies.
And Sonic the Hedgehog.
Again, Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog, I feel, are more video game material movies. Like, they take the license. They're decent in that they are not complete trash. But
why is that the bar, Sean? That is the bar.
I don't know, man.
For video game movies. That is the bar. It just has to not be complete trash.
I hold them higher than that. I say that I'm going to blow your mind with this real quick. I don't think the Super Mario Brothers movie is that bad. It's not good. It's not good. But it is fun in its own warped way.
Yeah.
Like, it at least establishes something interesting and unique. This was so by the numbers, bland and stupid that honestly, I don't remember any of it now. Like, I just watched this like 5 hours ago nearly. And I don't remember any of it. I only know the high notes because that is what I expect to have happen in a movie.
So are you saying Double Dragon was better than this movie?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I at least remember Robert Patrick in that movie. I mean, he just wanted to rule one major American city. Was that too much to ask? I don't think so.
I used to love that movie when I was a kid.
That movie is kind of fun. It gets a lot of shit, but it's got some really good matte paintings in it.
It's another one. See, that's where I would blow your mind is I don't hate Double Dragons.
No, I understand that.
I had so much fun with Double Dragons as a kid. I was a huge Double Dragons fan.
Yeah, the thing that will blow your mind, there's a Double Dragon arcade cabinet in the Double Dragon movie.
Yeah.
How does that shit work?
I don't know.
That's a time paradox right there. Revolver Ocelot's standing there going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. But I mean,
so Monster Hunter sucks.
It's a weird bar for video game movies because
we've kind of
there's so many movies that like Super Mario Brothers and Double Dragon are fun.
Yes.
But essentially they're not great movies.
The only movie that is a good representation of its game is Mortal Kombat.
This is true.
The very first one. The second one can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
I don't have high expectations for this new one. It looks like it's taking itself way too seriously and is going to be overcrowded.
We'll
get to that. We'll talk about it. I did watch the little web fan-made series.
Legacy?
Yeah, I watched that.
I thought Legacy was good.
Legacy was fine, but it was very disjointed and it focused on one character at a time, which I don't think they're going to have.
Not season 2.
I didn't watch season 2.
There was a season 2 that
I didn't watch that, but they wouldn't have to have gone through and done that. They could have told a more complete story with that.
Yeah.
See, I don't think they're going to have that opportunity in this new Mortal Kombat game or movie.
I know there's going to be a heavy focus on Sub-Zero.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on about that. Just like I don't know what's going on about Monster Hunter, the movie. I brought it around. Yes.
But yeah.
Damn right, you give me that rim shot.
I don't know, man. Like there's so many things coming out within the next month that I'm excited for. I think Mortal Kombat's either next month or April.
What's it like to be excited? I'm so dead inside, I don't know what that is anymore.
Are you telling me like that you're not ready for the last episode of WandaVision on Friday?
I am, actually. I'm rather excited about that. Look for that in the near future, us talking about WandaVision.
If we can, I have a suggestion for another one.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that later then.
Yeah. All right.
But I think that's going to do it for now, because we've talked about everything under the sun and Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's boring, and
the special features are hilarious.
Apparently, go watch the special features if you can get a hold of them.
Yep. I mean, you Redbox it for $1.
Yeah, that'll work. Redbox refuses to accept my card anymore.
That happens.
I know exactly what happened, actually. I returned a movie the day my card defaulted to the new card. And so it keeps trying to bill the original card, and it's like, it's still connected to the same bank account. Like, I went to my bank, and they tried to smooth it out, and it's like, look, he wants to pay this fine. Just let him, like, well, we're going to need, like, 3 forms of identification, and my teller was just like, they don't need 3 forms of identification. Fuck this noise. I was like, all right, whatever. I guess I'm not using Redbox anymore.
Nah, pretty much.
So that's the story of how Redbox refuses to rent movies to me.
I haven't used a Redbox in years because of Netflix.
Yeah. They're kind of terrible. Like, even when they were at their height, like, you couldn't... Like, the best thing they did was allow you to reserve a copy of something online, and even if you didn't get to it within a certain time, you may not have gotten it anyway.
Oh, the app would tell you what was where. Like, that was probably the best thing about it. But, I mean, Netflix... Now, man, we talked about that in a previous video. Like, streaming just kind of took over.
Yeah. Well, what about you guys? What did you think about Monster Hunter or any of the other 50 billion things we talked about this episode? Leave a comment down in the little section, and if you like what you saw, we always
brought it back in.
We always brought it back in. And if you liked what you saw, be sure and bring it in with a like and maybe a subscription. Apart from that, we'll see you back here next time, everybody. Later.
Later.